What's up guys, it's Andrew here with 765 Disc Review, and right now, because I'm doing a few of these videos here today, I've got the MVP Discs Reactor with me. So the MVP Discs Reactor is a mid-range, it's somewhat stable there. The numbers we've got are 5, 5, negative 0.5 for turn, and 1.5 for the fade. So when it comes to this disc here, I was pretty excited to try it. So I've had the hex in my bag for a while. And I use that for like straight forehand throws that just kind of flip up and right straight. But sometimes it felt like it could be a bit touchy, especially as of late. So I was kind of excited to try kind of a step up in stability from MVP discs here. As far as the feel goes, I feel like the rim is kind of unique in that it feels really comfortable for backhand throws. Forehand throws, though, I feel like I was just having some trouble getting a nice clean release. And I'm just not really all that sure why. So it looks pretty standard to me. You know, you look at the bottom of the rim, there's nothing really crazy going on, but for one reason or another, I kind of had a bit of a trip up there with the release for forehand throws that I don't have with the hex. I have no clue why. But nonetheless, pretty solid disc, relatively flat, like I had mentioned with my MVP discs resistor review, but pretty comfortable, all things considered, in the hand. So one thing when it comes to kind of a slot like this here, this is going to be probably the fastest type of disc that I would throw backhand. So right now in my bag, as I had mentioned earlier, I've got the Axiom Hex in there, and that is kind of my fastest disc that I'll throw backhand, because right now, to be honest, I can maybe throw 250 backhand somewhat accurately there. So this slot isn't something that gets pulled out for forehand very often. But for me personally, it was a little bit more stable than what I needed with my backhand power. I do not have a lot of backhand power. So for me personally, I just wasn't generating enough spin on this disc for backhand throws to really get it to go somewhere and do well. So it wasn't a bad disc by any means for me for backhand, but it was just one of those. I think the hex is a little bit more friendly for my backhand arm speed, but we can also talk about the forehand too. So for the forehand, for me, it had a little bit more of an S curve than the hex does, so that could be good and bad. It definitely had that step up and fade, I definitely noticed, but I wouldn't say that I noticed it had necessarily less turn than the hex. So one thing I kind of noticed for me is if I threw it on kind of a bit of a hyzer forehand, it would pop up and ride a little bit to the left before fading to the right. So definitely was that step up in stability, but kind of as I had mentioned earlier, for one reason or another, I had really struggled getting a clean release on it. So all things considered, maybe not a bad disc here. It's probably not one that I would recommend for beginners, because to be completely honest here, my backhand is probably closer to that of a beginner's. So I don't know that this would be a super great option for beginners, but I could definitely see somebody that's a backhand thrower that's intermediate or above really having a great time with this disc. It's really reliable. I definitely do think if you need a step up in stability from the hex, this is a great option as well. But overall, not a bad disc. Personally, just not for me, a little too stable for my arm speed backhand. And like I said, for forehand, it's just not really something that comes up very often for me. So thanks for watching there. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have a decent backhand, this might be something you would want to check out. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.